Krishna. Good morning and good evening. We're continuing the study of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is like a balm on our hearts, which are wounded and ached. So let us apply this soothing balm of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai. So Brahma's discoveries are in progress as our discoveries of finding out our purposes in life. So I'll start and then both of you can continue reading. Vishnu lay nearby, concealing himself by his own potency. He smiled. Brahma's efforts to find him without bhakti could never succeed. The four-headed god was baffled, unable to hold his breath much longer. He felt like he was about to expire. It seemed to him that Vishnu's fearful chakra that ends the life of all beings was approaching him. He needed to surface quickly and return to the lotus. The anxious god pushed up the surface of the water and climbed back up the lotus stalk. So much for his being the great universal creator. He could not even understand his own origin. He sat in yogic trance, controlling his breath and concentrating his mind on the Supreme Lord. After he had meditated in this humble mood for 100 celestial years, Vishnu became pleased with him and appeared within his heart in a splendid vision. Let's pause here. 2 points that are relevant for us, that we're, performing sadhana bhakti. We are doing so many activities that we want to progress in spiritual life. But as you can see, even for Brahma, without bhakti, the actual progress in Krishna consciousness is not possible. And then with that same, and how can bhakti be gotten? That's also here, humility. In a humble mood, 100 celestial years. Oof. That's like inconceivable for humans. And sometimes we complain that things are not happening in our speed. Things are not happening our way. Things are not happening in time. What is that? There's a proverb, right? Great things take time, like that. So in a rush, what we do, it's not as successful or worthy. But when we wait and something beautiful comes out of that waiting and that patience that Krishna carves out, Krishna prepares us for his actual mission. Sometimes we may be thinking, oh, why I am stuck in this routine job, or the parenting, or other daily activities, or doing the same things. And I feel like, what is going on? This is not really my service. I want to be doing something different in my life. And I actually had that situation. I was doing a lot of like individual guiding and coaching and counseling, etc. And I was feeling, no, I'm supposed to be doing like writing articles and writing books and making videos so more people can benefit, but I'm not able to do it. I was lamenting, and one of my close friends, we're working very for many years now, in a very recovery language way. And then she was saying how Kadamakanan Maharaj is her Guru Maharaj, and so she was saying how Maharaj would often say, whatever you're engaged in right now is a preparation for the service that Krishna has for you for later. So there is nothing like, oh, I'm supposed to be doing something different. It's always exactly what we're supposed to be doing, because it's a preparation for what is coming up. So I like that point very much. It helped me in my personal life, because the attitude of humility, that attitude of patience, and the attitude of faith, more than everything else, is the faith that I'm walking this path with faith. I'm walking this path with Uttahan Nischayat Dhairyat. I'm walking whatever is in front of me, whatever is Krishna's mercy right now, in whatever form, it may be favorable or unfavorable, but it is a preparation for something bigger, something that Krishna has in store for us. As much as we need to go after favorable, so we have to choose those things and those relationships, those situations that are favorable for us for devotional service. As much as that principle is true, as we become stronger in our faith, we also realize that even unfavorable circumstances are a preparation for something very favorable that is coming up. So we don't have to run away from difficult situations or difficult relations, but rather we pray to Krishna to help us see his hand in these situations, even if it's unpleasant and what we may perceive as unfavorable. We can pray to Krishna to help us to see his hand. So the goal is not to be in a favorable situation which makes us feel comfortable, but the goal is to be able to let the Lord in and to be able to see the Lord's hands in our life, in our services. Any comments, any questions, any realizations?
Yeah, very nicely explained, Mataji. Especially like this humble mood. One can be like doing a lot of tapasya and penance or whatever, austerities. But if it's not in that humble mood, then we cannot attract Krishna's mercy. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I know I have a question. What do you think, like individually for you, what constitutes humble mood, practically speaking, in our daily life, in our spiritual sadhana?
It would be like always first asking for God's help in doing everything that I'm doing. And I'm also fixing my own internal mood that I'm doing it for him. Whether that consciousness continues throughout the particular activity or throughout the day, that's a second thing. But at least in beginning, you start like that. Well, whatever I'm doing is for you. So you give me the intelligence to do it for you, to please you. So like that, the whole day is like, we're seeking his blessing. You're not going with the doership mentality, like I am the karta, right? Doership, I will go fix this and everything. It happens. I mean, I'll start like that. And then, of course, the conditioning mind will take over and will start thinking that I'm the doer. And then again, nice failure will come. And then again, we'll go to Krishna's illusion. So that's how it is. It's like a constant, cycle. Going and coming, going and coming. And then hopefully it'll stay for a much longer period of time. That no. Especially some of the services which are like directly in relation with Krishna. It's more, everything that we're doing is devotional service itself. That should be the mode. That's what my Guru Maharaj always says. It's not like, when you're chanting or doing deity worship, that's devotion and taking care of children. That's something else. No, everything is for the Lord. That's what my Guru Maharaj always says. So trying to follow that also is like, just being humble. We're not having that separatist kind of mentality. Yeah, that is also very important. My Maharaj says that. So that's there. And yeah, always calling out to him whenever something happens. You never know. Like, every step in this material world is filled with so much of danger, right? We never know what's going to happen. Just the next moment. One step you miss, on the stairs, and then we can just land up with a broken back. Just one step. just by slipping. So like that. So it happened maybe like 3 months back. Yeah, just I was like in a hurry, and then I have railing also in the house, and I was holding this jacket. When I was holding the railing, right, I kind of slipped. I wanted to hold the railing, but then this jacket just came in between, and then the jacket was slippery, so it just slipped across the railing also. So even though the railing was there, I could not stop my fall. So I was just thinking one small step, and then it takes a long time to heal. Luckily, it wasn't so bad. But I mean, it's just like an indication that every step in this material world, we never know what's going to happen, how much dependent we are on the Lord, right? That's just showing a very humble position. It's just like very humbling, right? It's like nothing is under our control. Just realizing that will make us humble. We don't know what to do next. Even though we might plan and do so many things, things won't go in our way. That's also humbling.
Yeah.
That.
So true. From my side, I was thinking how, small things like say I take some flowers for the deities, and then the pujari offers those flowers to the deities, right? The first day there is so much humble attitude and gratitude. Oh my God, pujari exactly took those flowers that I brought in. Look, it's sitting there at lotus feet of the Lord. Oh my God, look, he put it on his head. That sense of gratitude, which is very sweet. And then gradually, like every day, the pujari takes the flower and puts it. So there is a sense of what is it called? Complacency, somewhat, that can enter the mind, enter the heart. And on the other side, sometime maybe the pujari didn't see, like today, for example, I kept the basket of flowers and he didn't see it, I guess. It's a very small basket. Probably he didn't see it. So until the Nashinga prayers, he had not offered it. So, the mind was not anymore in the attitude I was few days ago, which is very like humble and so like excited about like a child and feeling so happy, like getting the candy or something. I was feeling, oh, look, the flowers at the feet of Jagannath, like that. And today the mind was more like little less humble, right? It was like, oh, how come he didn't take the flowers yet? So, and then yeah, like this. And I was praying to Jagannath that how this, like what you were saying about one step, right? One little attitude can bring us down, but usually it happens very slowly in the mind, in the consciousness. It's not actually suddenly one day we are feeling humble and the next day we are proud. It's actually a small gradual development.
Yes.
And I was thinking how Kalayavan, the story is that Krishna, he kind of induces, he kind of makes Kalayavan feel like he could win against him. So he sends a bottle of snake, like Krishna sends to Kalayavan a bottle with a poisonous snake inside it. And then he sends a message saying, this poisonous snake is Krishna. So don't mess with Krishna, something like this, okay? He says Krishna is like a poisonous snake, and don't attack him, don't mess with him. He's gonna destroy you. And then Kalayavan, what he does, he opens the jar and he fills the jar, which is having the poisonous snake. He fills it with red ants, big red ants, and then he closes the jar. So guess what happens? Within a few minutes, the snake gets eaten up by the red ants. And then he sends back the jar with the ants and the snake being eaten up and everything. And he sends a message saying, if you're a poisonous snake, and I am an army of red ants which can tear you apart. And then Kalayavan feels a sense of hope. He feels a sense of false strength, Krishna eluded him, made him to believe that it's possible to defeat Krishna, So sometimes, like Maya Devi tries to test our humility and our surrender, like that. And I've been like experiencing a little bit of that in Jagannath Puri. I had like so much purification, so many incidents happening. I think I mentioned it earlier. And then I was there and I was just trying to like dance for Jagannath, and I don't know anybody there. They're all strangers. And I was just dancing and nobody was dancing. And I was like, they say, Nachiki golabeda, manadali yochisi kedabeda. Don't be shy and don't think and be there. Just do it. Do your service. And then I'm in Jagannath Puri, so I was just thinking to dance. And then see how Krishna can trick us or like put us in illusion, or I don't know what. Like next day, there were like a bunch of ladies who come every day to see Jagannath. They're the like local ladies. And they all recognized me. And then they were all calling me Radha, Radha. And I was like, how do they even know my name? How? And then they came and told me, you dance just like Radha. We saw you dancing yesterday and the day before also. We were thinking if you will come today. We were all talking about you. And then I was looking at Jagannath and like, what are you doing, Jagannath? You're making my focus move from you to myself. So is it a test? Like this. And then the local ladies, they have their own places where they climb and see Jagannath. And this is in the Jagamohana, when the Arti, Mangalarti goes on. And then these ladies were all like, they were just adoring me. And then they were giving me their place to stand and watch Jagannath. And each of the ladies were calling me, and I could see the complacency lurking in, the emotion of, it's a kind of overjoy, and it's also some pride, and the pride that I'm being recognized for something, for my bhakti or whatever. And then I immediately started to pray to Baladev, please keep me humble. Please, like that. Today also something similar was happening. I know some of these devotees, and then also familiarity breeds contempt. When you start knowing, oh, this is the Mataji who makes the garlands, and this is the Mataji who makes the bouquets, and this is the Mataji who brings flowers or whatever, then the mood becomes more like trying to find my place, trying to find my sense of belonging and identity can become a little bit in the mode of passion. Like, will they pass me the lamp first, or will they give me the offering? We offer like a lamp, we offer to Jagannath like that, and we use the same tulsi stick, and each Mataji will pass, right? There's so much subtleties with. For me, there is so many obstacles, hurdles in developing that humble mood, maintaining that humble mood. It's easier to maintain a humble mood in a new situation, new place, like that.
So
but
true.
As soon as some recognition comes, after I gave Bhagavatam class yesterday, some of the Matajis were sending me some comments and all, and immediately I start to see, oh my God, it's so difficult to maintain an attitude of humility. Immediately, like one senior Mataji from Ukraine, she wrote me saying, you are my example how to give a lecture. Again, bam, that slip in the consciousness, I could experience it. Like you said, the jacket slipped like that. Me, like I'm trying to hold on to the railing, and certain kind of comments, it's like a slip for me in my consciousness. And I'm not anymore thinking, in a helpless state and feeling whatever, like humble. It immediately is like becomes a challenge to remain humble. It becomes a challenge to be in that state of helplessness and hopelessness. Unlike when I'm betrayed or I'm hurt and I am like feeling abandoned and I'm feeling neglected, then it's a little bit easier for humility to take place, take the priority.
Gurujan Prabhu says the same thing. He says like humiliation comes. Gurujan Prabhu, is Prabhupada's
Yes.
He's very good at Japa book, so many things he's written. So he says that in a book, I guess, in the book, he says, what does he say? Humiliation comes first before humility sets in. So
Mm.
yeah, that happens. So, I mean, when that happens, only we will feel like, oh my God, I'm so powerless, That's
Yeah.
one thing. And then the second thing my Guru Maharaj says is that when we have impurities, I mean, not saying to you, like for all of us, when there are impurities in the heart, then and we have some pious credits, it creates pride. That's what he says. So he says it's like an equation, like pious credits plus an impure heart is equal to pride. Maharaj says, my Guru Maharaj. So then, perhaps we have pious credits, but then that impurity will is making us getting this pride, right? So somehow Maharaj says that we need to cleanse our heart, and the whole process of cleansing is hearing and chanting. That's the basic, right? There's no other way, no other way. And of course, like how you were saying so beautifully,
Yeah.
association of those who are humble. Just by that, something will get rubbed off, and then actually, being humble is our natural state. It's
Mm.
not the natural state to feel proud. You know, that's how
True.
it is, right? Our natural state is being really humble in front of the Lord, right? And then we are simply, this is just an like, a foreign conditioned state, like feeling pride. There's nothing for us. Like sometimes I imagine like whatever I've done or something, some service. How did I do it if it wasn't the Lord's ability?
Yeah.
Ability man is Krishna only, right? If he doesn't give, right, then gone. If one small thing doesn't work, it just doesn't happen. Yeah, perhaps in the end, when you like, what do you say, close the sharing, maybe I'll share one instant. That's like so sweet. I'll share that after you close the, what do you call,
Yeah.
record.
Me too. I have something else to share after the live. Maybe we can read a little more and then we can stop the live.
Sure.
Would you like to continue, Rasastali Mataji? Unless you have, Mataji, you have something to share, please feel free.
I'll read. Okay. Brahma saw Anantashesha lying in the waters of Garbhodaka ocean, his gigantic white body creating a bedstead on which Garbhodaksha Vishnu lay. The radiance of the jewels beckoning Ananta's 1,000 hoods dissipated the darkness. His lustrous frame was more beautiful than an emerald mountain, and his yellow dress looked more enchanting than the setting sun rays bathing that mountain. Ananta's golden jewel-studded helmet was more brilliant than a golden peak atop the mountain. The jewels, pearls, tulsi leaves, and flower garlands which decorated the Lord's effulgent body were more charming than the streams, jewels, herbs, and flowers decorating the mountains. His transcendental form was unlimited in length and breadth, occupying all the space from the high planets down to the lowest. All of his dress,
Wow. This is such a great meditation.
all of his dress and ornaments were of unparalleled beauty and variety. Subtle the exquisite form of Krishna dressed as a cowherd boy manifested before Brahma, with one lotus-like foot crossed in front of the other, revealing the auspicious markings on his soul. Brahma considered this vision to be the greatest reward for his meditations and the fulfillment of all his desires. Krishna reciprocated the Brahma's pure service and dispelled his anxiety to see him by smiling charmingly. The Lord's radiant face was enhanced by his bright earrings, red lips, graceful nose, and moving eyebrows. From the Lord's waist hung a saffron dhoti, the color of a kadamba flower, girdled by a gem-studded belt. On his chest was the Srivatsa mark and a priceless necklace. As Brahma gazed at him in astonishment, Krishna again manifested himself as Garbhodaksha Vishnu, lying on Ananta. To Brahma, this magnificent form seemed like a colossal sandalwood tree. There were numerous similarities. As a sandalwood tree is decorated with the fragrant flowers and branches, the Lord's body was adorned with valuable jewels and pearls. As the tree spreads its branches everywhere, Vishnu spread his arms over the universe. As the tree's roots cannot be seen, the Lord's origin could not be understood. As the sandalwood tree is the king of trees, Vishnu protects the worlds by his great power. As the sandalwood tree is covered with many snakes, so the Lord's shoulders were decorated by Ananta's hoods. Just as both moving and non-moving beings rest on the great mountain, similarly all creatures rest on Gabrudakshay Vishnu. Ananta's 1,000 golden helmeted hoods looked like golden mountain peaks. His transcendental body, decorated with priceless jewels, immersed in the water of devastation, resembled a jeweled mountain submerged in the ocean. Brahma realized that this mountainous form was the Supreme Lord. The beautiful garlands decorating Vishnu's chest sang melodious songs, glorifying him. His Sudarshana Chakra weapon continually circled him so that not even the sun, moon, air, or fire could approach him. Searching for a clue how to render his service of creating the universe, Brahma saw only Vishnu's deep navel filled with water, along with the lotus flower which emerged from it, as well as the devastating waters surrounding him, the blowing wind which was drying those waters and the sky. Understanding these to be the cause of creation and infused by
Let's pause here. I want to show you something here. There is a beautiful temple. Yesterday I was looking at it. There's a deity here. Oh my God. As we're reading this description, I'm just thinking of this deity. This is a self-manifested deity in Nepal. Buddha Nilakanta. So beautiful. It's like whatever the description you just read, I feel like this deity is like exemplifies that. And by the way, this is a huge stone deity, but it is floating on water. And no scientists could figure out how it's possible.
so pretty, so beautiful.
Yeah, he's huge.
Udhani Kantha temple. I've been to Pashupatinath, not this one.
Ah, yeah. Ah, looks so gorgeous.
Very nice. Temple mystery.
Yeah, as we're reading that, I was just thinking. Okay, so it's 30 minutes of reading. So we can pause here for today. Rajshri has joined us. Hare Krishna, welcome Rajshri. We're going to stop the live share because we're going to share some important personal